Hi there, friends. Welcome to my Stampin' Piece studio. Oops, there we go. Welcome to my Stampin' Piece studio. I'm Mary Knabe, coming to you live on October 30th from Columbus, Ohio. I'm so happy to be live with you today. It's been a bit since I've been live. Last week I was at a crafting retreat in Oak Harbor, Ohio, up near Lake Erie, at a beautiful place called Inspiration in Bloom, the N being I-N-N, Inspiration in Bloom. Very nice. 25 people went to that event Sunday through Thursday morning, Sunday evening through Thursday morning. It was hosted by my friend Julie Heights of Chirpy Doodle Quilts and More. If you've seen my quilt card that I made a few weeks ago, Julie is the expert on quilt cards, and it was her first time hosting a retreat, so I was really happy to go and be a part of her event. I went knowing only 3 of the 25 people there, but left with lots of new friends, some new ideas, and even got some quilting done. So it was a great week, and I missed you all. Today I've got a really fun card to show you today. I'm not going to show you the sample just yet, but it's a Fun Fold Slimline Card. We've made Fun Fold cards before, we've made Slimline cards before, but this is a combination of the two that I learned from my friend Jackie Bullheis. So I think you're really going to love it. It uses the Autumn Leaves bundle and a bit of designer series paper and lots of stamping. We'll get started on that right away. I do want to put out a reminder that tomorrow, October 31st, is the last day of Stampin' Up's 35th anniversary joining promotion. If you've ever thought about joining, if you are buying Stampin' Up products, I would love to save you money by having you become a Stampin' Up demonstrator on my team. And I know many people have questions before they go into considering, would they like to become a Stampin' Up demonstrator or not? What's the value in joining? What are, if any, our obligations are there? That sort of thing. So tonight on Zoom, and I've posted the Zoom link here on Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, you can ask me any questions you like about becoming a Stampin' Up demonstrator, what's involved, how to add items to your starter kit. What if you just want to enjoy the discount and not do classes and events? You can certainly do that. This offer is for everybody, whether you're a first-time to join demonstrator, or if you were a demonstrator in the past but would like to join again, you are welcome to. If you want to build a business or earn a little extra income, you can certainly do that. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to demonstrate, you're welcome to just join and be a happy shopper or a hobbyist, whatever you want to call it. So that Zoom link for the Ask Me Anything Zoom gathering tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is on this Facebook page, Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. I also sent it out in an email to anybody that's on my email list. Okay, let's get started. I've got lots of things to show you before we actually delve into making today's card, because I want you to see the versatility in the stamps as well as the dies from the Autumn Leaves bundle. So I've got some charts made up to show you first. All right, I'm going to flip my camera around now. And while I do that, please share this live video and invite others to join us. You can even tag your friends in the comments if that helps. Okay, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the stamps in here. There are 6 different image stamps for the various leaves, and I want to show you a few different ways you can use them. The first way to use the large maple leaf is simply by stamping at full strength ink. Here's an example of me doing that with the pretty peacock ink. This is an example of me doing the same thing, but stamping off on scrap paper before I stamped onto cardstock. And this is an example of stamping off twice on scrap paper before stamping onto the cardstock. In addition, I wanted to show you the stamp set, or the stamp that pairs with the big maple leaf. That's this one. And you can see in each of them, I've stamped that. Okay, these 2 are stamped in full strength. And this third leaf shows that I stamped off the veins of the leaf once and then stamped on. Okay, so a little variation. Now I did something different in the next row. I took this stamp, and I also learned this from my friend Jackie Bolheis. This is the stamping surface, the intended stamping surface of the stamp. I removed it, flipped it over, and now I'm using the back side only. So I'm going to get the shape of the maple leaf, but I'm not going to get the inside details of the leaf. So here it is, stamped at full strength. This is stamped off onto scrap paper once and then stamped onto the cardstock. And then this is stamped off onto scrap paper twice and then onto the cardstock. So there's a few different ways that you can use this maple leaf stamp. And again, I've used the coordinating stamp with the veins of the maple leaves. Stamped on full strength and stamped off once for that. Now, we can do the same thing with the other leaves in the set. And you can see the pieces that coordinate. Stamped full strength on with the intended side of the stamp. Stamped off once, stamped off twice, and then I stamped with the coordinating veins. Here in the second row, I did the same thing. I flipped that stamp over, and instead of using the intended side with the details of the leaves, I'm using just the plain leaf itself. No details, just the outline filled in. So I stamped at full strength ink. I stamped off once and then onto my cardstock for this one. And for this last one, I stamped off twice and then onto the cardstock. And again, I used the coordinating veins for that leaf. I'll flip this back. And then we have that third stamp, which is actually a pair of stamps, 2 in 1. Okay, it's one stamp that allows you to stamp 2 leaves at the same time. So full strength, stamped off once, stamped off twice, and then with stamping the veins of the leaf. Now here is an example, again, of me flipping over the stamp and just using the back side of it to stamp, okay? Full strength, stamped off once, stamped off twice before stamping on the cardstock. Now, one thing I'm going to point out to you here is the veins don't exactly match because the veins were intended to stamp with the leaves in the regular position with that detail in it, okay? But as you can see, it still looks good stamping the other way with the back side and then stamping the veins in, okay? So I wanted to point that out to you, that now instead of knowing one way to stamp the leaves, you have several ways you can stamp the leaves, adding a little bit more interest and versatility to the things that you make. Now, I also wanted to show you, because there are a lot of dies in this set. The stamp set itself has 12 stamps. The dies have 17 dies. So there's a whole lot going on here. So I made up a couple of charts for you, showing you the coordinating leaf die and the leaf veins. Okay, so we've got basically 3 sets here, okay? The solid leaf and then the coordinating veins and how to put them together, all right? Sometimes people get overwhelmed with the number of dies in a set. So that's why I wanted to take the time to show you all this, because I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I don't want you to be frustrated. I want you to be able to enjoy the products that you purchased and enjoy creating with them without a lot of fuss or anxiety or stress or anything of the sort. So a couple of things to point out here. For these leaves, there is not a coordinating stamp to go with it. The other ones the other dies I just showed you on the first chart all coordinate with the stamps. These do not, okay? These cut out the shape as well as add some detail to each of the leaves. Great, right? Then it also has some dies that you can use with the sentiments in the stamp set. Notice how tiny this one is. Is that crazy tiny or what? But it fits those tiny words in our stamp set. All right. And lastly, I wanted to show you these two, and I put them on the same sheet of cardstock. I'm actually going to lift this up so you can see it a little bit better, hoping all those dies don't fall off. But these two pieces are really, they don't cut out anything. They just have the pattern of dots there, but they don't actually cut out a shape like the other dies do in this set. So, you know, this could just be a little extra embellishing to your card. This you could use with one of your leaves. You could do this and then cut out, say, a leaf shape from that. Okay, so it's adding texture. Yes, Jenny, exactly. It's adding texture, but it's not actually cutting out the shape. Okay, I've already taken pictures of all of these charts. Oh, my computer. Let me go back here. I've already taken pictures of all of the charts I just showed you, and I am already putting them in my blog post that will go with the card I'm going to show you how to make. Again, it's just an extra little something to give you, to show you the coordination of the products as well as the versatility of those stamps and dies. So let's get on to making this gorgeous Fun Fold Slimline card. we are going to start with a piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock. This cardstock comes 8.5 by 11 inches. Are we still okay on the video? Because I'm getting just a plain circle on a black screen on my computer, but everything looks good when I'm seeing it on the phone. So just let me know, can you see and hear me on the live? Yes, yes. Okay, great. So I'm going to cut this piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock down to 8.5 by 10 7/8. All I'm cutting off is that tiny little 1/8 of an inch. Okay, can you see that? You scoot it over. So I'm going to 10 7/8. Cutting that off. And then I'm going to do some scoring. I need to score at 3 5/8 inches. 3 5/8 inches. And then I'm going to flip my cardstock. You don't necessarily have to flip your cardstock, but I find if we are doing a Z-fold card or folding score lines in different directions, that this is helpful. My next score is going to be at 7 1/4 inches. 7 1/4 inches. Okay, so I scored at 3 5/8 and 7 1/4 inches. And for some reason that doesn't look, it is right to me, but I don't know. Then on the left panel, I want to mark 2 inches from the bottom. Okay, 2 inches from the bottom of my left pencil, or left edge, or left panel. So I'm going to use my pencil. Here's 2 inches. I've got this as the bottom. Okay, I have my little pencil mark. Now I want to cut from that 2-inch mark from the bottom of the left panel to the top of the score line, top of the second score line. Okay, so I've got my pencil mark in the cutting groove, and I'm going to adjust my cardstock so that now I have the top of that second score line also in my cutting groove. And I'm just going to cut down just like that. Okay, I can put this away now. So here is my card base. And as I said, we would Z-fold this. That's why I flipped over my cardstock between the first and second score line I made. And you just want to use your bone folder to burnish those score lines very well. Now here, and I'm going to get out my Stampin' Pierce mat because we are stamping with photopolymer sets. And I'm going to do a little stamping. I also need my scrap paper. So I'm going to stamp the large maple leaf in the bottom corner of this piece of white cardstock. This measures 8 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches, and it's going to be used for the inside of our Fun Fold Slimline card. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to do the solid image. So I'm going to take that and just flip it over. So now I have that solid maple leaf image. Ink that up, and I'm going to stamp off once and then stamp on to the bottom left corner of my card base. Now I want to add some detail by stamping the veins of the leaf. And this time, again, I'm stamping with Pretty Peacock ink, but I'm stamping the veins at full strength. Okay, pretty, isn't it? Now, I'm going to switch to Cajun Craze ink and stamp the medium-sized leaf from the set. And I'm just gonna, to make this easier, I'm gonna turn my cardstock a little bit. I'm gonna put up 2 here. So I'm going to stamp at full strength ink, I think right about there. And then I'm going to stamp again at the full strength ink. Now, if you wanted to stamp off, you certainly can do that. I am not going to add the extra detail here. Or, well, actually I will. Actually I will. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that open because I'll be using Cajun Craze again. But instead of doing Cajun Craze on Cajun Craze, I'm going to use the Early Espresso ink to stamp the veins. Okay, see that? And then the last thing I'm going to do is stamp some of these. These are the veins from that set of, or that pair of small leaves that I showed you earlier on my chart. I'm going to stamp these for a little extra detail. And this time I'm going to stamp off here. And then I'm going to stamp off the small one there. Okay, so you can see I inked it one time, stamped in the middle, stamped the left sprig at the top, and stamped the right sprig along the right edge. Okay, so let me now put this into the inside of my card base. A reminder that I pulled in my Stampin' Pierce mat because when you're working with photopolymer stamps, those are the ones that you can see through, you get much better stamped images if you stamp on top of the Stampin' Pierce mat. You can even use the silicone craft sheet, anything like that that has a little bit of cushion, okay? Next, we're going to decorate the front. Now, I took the liberty of doing lots of die cutting. I do need to stamp and die cut. Let's make sure I have this the right way. Yes, I'm going to stamp and die cut a couple of these Cajun Craze leaves. And I'll even add, let me bring my scrap paper back in here. And I'm going to add the veins to this leaf with the Early Espresso. Now, one thing nice about all of the dies in this set is you can use your mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to cut these out, which is what I'm going to do right now. Gotta grab the right plates here. I'm gonna close up these ink pads because you know what will happen if I don't, right? I'll put either my hand or my sleeve in them. All right. Now, I will need to run this through my machine twice to cut out both of these. There's one. And then here's the second one. And then we'll be able to decorate the front of our Fun Fold Slimline card. Oops. To line that up better. I hope I'm still in the viewing screen. This is really hard when Facebook is not allowing me to see this on the computer in front of me. Only on, oh come on, only on my phone, which is actually up above recording. All right. Now, as I said earlier, or I think I said earlier, I took the liberty of doing lots of die cutting just because I want to be respectful of your time. I am going to, oh, I should show you this. Isn't this pretty? This is the oxidized copper. Oxidized copper. Let me pull this out here. This is the oxidized copper specialty paper. Okay, there's one in this rust color, and then there's one with this blue. So I cut that out from the blue. I do want to, oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted my silicone craft sheet. And the reason I'm using that is to not get a lot of glue on my work surface. So I'm just putting a tiny bit of multi-purpose glue on the back of the veins for the maple leaf. And I will just press that into place. Okay. And this will be part of my overall design on the front. And I'm going to actually start by placing this large leaf first, because this is sort of, I'll say, the focal point of the arrangement that I'm putting on the front of my Fun Fold card. So I just put a few dimensionals right in the center because I'm going to be adding other pieces around it. And to do that, I'm going to use some multi-purpose glue. And again, just small little bits. That allows me to make sure I didn't get glue. Oh, I did go over a little bit. Let's do this. So that will catch that any adhesive that went beyond that diagonal line. Because I don't want to be sticking my card closed. And I'll put this one here, just like that, I think. And this one I'm going to add back here. So as you can see, I'm going to tuck it under the large maple leaf. So I really just need a little adhesive at the bottom of it. So you see now why I only wanted to adhere that large maple leaf in the center with some dimensionals, because I wanted to be able to add the other pieces around it and underneath. Now this one is much larger than I really want here, so I'm just going to take my snips and cut some of that off and make it a smaller leaf. Again, just a small dot of multi-purpose glue. And I'm going to tuck that. Where do I want that? I think more like here. And then notice I have the pair of leaves. And this is from the All About Autumn Designer Series paper, which I'm happy to say is back in stock again. Yes, again. This paper has come in and out of stock so many times. It is incredibly popular. But I just used the die that cuts out 2 leaves at once to cut these. So I did 2 pairs of the leaves, and then for that single leaf, I just cut down the middle after I die cut. I cut the 2 leaves apart. And again, I'm going to tuck this right under here, just like, well, I think just like that. And lastly, I have these, okay? So these were cut with the veins for that pair of leaves, okay? So now I'm giving you some more ways to use your die cuts. And I'm just going to stick these kind of in and around the other leaves that are in place. And maybe I pull this down a little bit. Just like that. It's okay that they're going beyond the edge of the card just a tiny bit, because my card will go into like a letter size or business size envelope, and I know that I have room to do that based on the envelopes I have. Somebody asked me today, can the slimline cards be mailed? The answer to that is yes, they can be. I'm just going to tear off the bottom stem here. Yes, they can be mailed. And like I said, you can buy, they're basically business or letter size envelopes, about like this. You can get them at any big box store, any, what do I want to say? Any office supply store. And they are not expensive at all. I'm going to tuck this one under here. And then I have one more that I'm going to put on this side. And as I'm putting all these pieces and parts in place, oh, come on, come on. As I'm putting all these pieces and parts into place, notice how very little adhesive I used. And I also only used the adhesive on the inside tips or inside ends of the different shapes, so that it would allow me to move them around and place the different pieces under or on top of. Sue, thank you. Number 10 business envelopes. I was about to say number 8, and for some reason I was thinking that might not be correct. So I'm glad you helped us out there. Number 10 business envelopes. Thank you, Sue. All right. I stamped my sentiment in Cajun Craze ink, and then I die cut it with one of those sentiment dies from the Autumn Leaves bundle. I'm going to put this right here. And I like having this little twig or this little branch right here overlapping the top of my sentiment. It just, I think, adds a little bit more interest. And then I have a piece of linen thread. I'm going to double this and tie a double bow with it. Trim off my ends. And then I'm just going to use, oops, kind of a big drop, isn't it? Use a drop of glue. I'm going to place the knot of my bow on top of that drop of glue, and then I'm just going to drop a clear stamping block on top of it. That will help hold that bow in place until that glue dries a bit. Gets a little tacky and less liquidy to hold that in place. Now I'm choosing to use the speckled dots. I am sorry to say these are out of stock, I think, for 2 more weeks, and then they will be back. But of course, we have lots and lots and lots of embellishments that would look beautiful on this card. Gosh, there's a whole bunch. Let's just take a quick look because I want to make sure you believe me. Rhinestones are always a good choice. These are the 2023-2025 in color dots. Oh, these would be lovely too. Oh, I didn't think about this. Brush metallic adhesive dots. These would be gorgeous as well. Let's see. The rustic metallic dots would be awesome. This set of adhesive back solid gems has 3 colors. This one is Cajun Craze, so that fits right into the color scheme we already have. We've got pearls. We've got these gold and green pearls on this set of blooming pearls. We've got some brushed gold sequins. So as you can see, oh, the festive pearls in either, all those light green ones might work, and the gold, of course. So lots to choose from, lots to choose from. So I know if you don't have these, you probably have something in your stock of embellishments that would work very well. And I'm also going to tuck some of these in and around my leaf arrangement. So only one of them is actually on the front panel. The others are on that 4th panel. But I think that gives a nice look. It kind of brings that all together when I spread the embellishments out across these 2 sections. And then when you open it, it's beautiful just like that. You've got plenty of room to write a message. If you want more room to write your message, just do less stamping or take these things closer to the outside of the corner. All right. If you're somebody, sometimes people say, but I don't like to write in a lot in the cards. I don't want too much room in there. This is perfect. Dear Susie Q, thank you for being part of my wonderful life. Love, Mary, whatever, right? Okay, so what do you think? Tell me what you think about this Slimline Fun Fold card. Quite easy, right? I will have all the dimensions for this on the blog post. I do want to give you a quick reminder though, before I go off, that we started with 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I cut off 1/8 of an inch, okay? So it measures 8.5 by 10 7/8 when you start. Then you measure up 2 inches from that bottom left corner, and you cut diagonally to the top of the second score line. And that is how you get the base of that Fun Fold card. Alrighty. Are there any questions? I have to flip back here. Let me find you. There we go. Put this up here. Any questions? This is very frustrating to me when I'm looking at my computer head on and I should be able to see everything. Okay. It's only letting me see a few comments at once, so that's not real helpful. I'll have to wait till I say goodbye and get off of this live. But I do want to thank you all for being here. And of course, you need some kind of code word to add to the comments if you want to perhaps win this card. So how about if we do autumn? Oh, let's do autumn leaves since that's the name of the bundle. Autumn leaves. So, and when you're typing autumn leaves in the comment, think about the various ways I showed you to use the stamps and various ways I showed you to use the dies in this bundle. Because the more options you have, the more versatility you have and the more creative it allows you to be. And of course, I always want you to get the most bang for your buck. So the more ways that I can show you the versatility of the products, the more I am confident that you will have lots of choices to use in your creating. And I want to give a final reminder that 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, October 30th, I am having an Ask Me Anything Zoom. And this is in regards to the Stampin' Up! 35th anniversary joining promotion, which ends tomorrow, October 31st. Friends, please take advantage of this promotion. There are two ways to go about it. You can choose $125 a product, which would normally cost you $99 plus tax. But for this promotion, Stampin' Up! Is going to subtract 35% off the cost of the kit. So in your starter kit, whatever you make it, whatever you put in that kit. So it's only, I believe, $64, $65 plus tax. So $125 a product for $64, $65, that's almost half price. It's nearly half price. Or Stampin' Up's giving you a different option. You can spend, instead of spending 35% less, you can add 35% product to your starter kit. So instead of paying $99 for $125 a product, you're going to pay $99 for, what was it? Oh, I have to look really quick because I can't remember. 160 something. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, come on, friends. I just have this up. Looking on my screen here. Why can't I find it at the moment? Anyways, 35% more. One of you, Tony, one of you demonstrators watching, why can't I put my finger on this all of a sudden? I had it right here, brought it up earlier. Let's try this. Okay, this is going to bother me now because I can't put my finger on it. But anyways, you can take 35% off the price. This is crazy. I can't put my finger on it. Help, help. Oh gosh. just had it. I made sure I had it pulled up before I went live, and now I can't put my finger on it. Thank you, Jenny Graber. $168. So blah blah blah. Sorry about my windedness, but so $125 a product and pay just $65 plus tax, or instead of 35% off the price of the normal starter kit, you can pay the regular price of $99, but choose products valued at $168. So either way, it's a fabulous value. I hope you'll take advantage of it. But the purpose of my Ask Me Anything Zoom tonight is so that you can ask me any questions. If you need clarification on what the promotion actually does for you, what the value is for you, what you can put in your starter kit, which is virtually anything we sell, what's expected of you as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Can you just stay in and purchase for yourself? Absolutely. These are the types of questions I will be answering in that Zoom tonight. You can also find more information at stampinpiece.com by clicking on Join in the menu bar. Alrighty, that will answer a lot of questions as well. But I hope you all will join me. If you are a lover of Stampin' Up! Products, please join me on that Zoom. And if you know people who love Stampin' Up! Products that you think would benefit from the Stampin' Up! Discount, invite them to jump onto that Zoom as well. The link is posted here on Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. It was also sent out in an email to my newsletter subscribers. Thanks for a great Facebook Live. I enjoy getting together with you and sharing what I love to do. So happy stamping always, and I will choose a winner for this gorgeous Fun Fold Slimline card. Have a great night.